to Hudson Valley Knits. Today is Sunday, I think it's like the 3rd. Sunday, April 3rd, 2016. I am Amy, also known as Memers on Ravelry, Memers66 on Instagram and Twitter. And I welcome you to, did I say episode 62? I think it's been only 2 weeks, which is pretty good for me since my last podcast, because I've been lately going like 3 weeks because of being so busy. But welcome. I have a Ravelry group on Ravelry. Obviously, it's Hudson Valley Knits, and I have a website where you'll find all my show notes, HudsonValleyKnits.com. I also have a couple of prize-worthy, I don't know if I call them knit-alongs or contests, or I have 2 knitty events going on in my Ravelry group that are year-long chances to win a prize at the end of the year. One is my senior level-long, where we knit little gifts for seniors at the Veterans Nursing Home at the VA in Montrose, New York. I've done that twice already. This will be the 3rd year. So if you're interested in knitting or crocheting or crafting, any kind of crafting, little gifts for our seniors, please check out that thread. Also, I have a 2016 goals contest going on. It's never too late to join. It's just keep in mind that only projects started after this date can be included in the prize thread if you do join for your 2016 goals. I don't have prizes listed yet for that, but there will be prizes, and I did have a lot of nice prizes last year, so please join in on that. And so let's get to it. I have I have whips to show you. They are not new whips. They're the same whips I've been working on for a while. I apologize if you're getting bored, but for those that haven't watched all my episodes, I have been involved in a design along with Shirley Patton. You can check out We Love Shirley Patton Ravelry group for more information. But basically, she contacted various knitting guilds across the country, including mine, which is the Westchester Knitting Guild, and asked people who were interested in designing a sweater or a garment if they would want to participate. And I signed up. So that has been keeping me very busy, and there's not a lot of knitting yet to show you. But the actual design phase is almost over. And I guess I'll go into it now. I was going to talk about it later, but I'll go into it now. So there have been different stages. One was like the kind of like idea stage, where you kind of described what you were looking for in a garment, the feel, the look, the feel, and a sketch, which I did, and I sent in. And I don't know if I showed you the sketch, but she asked us specifically not to post our sketches in the design along thread. So I don't know. I'm not going to show you the sketch, but just think outdoor sweater, outer garment, so it's not like a sweater you'd wear indoors. It's a sweater you wear outdoors. Rugged, bulky, thick, warm, oversized, cozy, just outdoor sweater. And actually here, where I live in New York, it would have been a perfect day to wear this sweater. So it's the evening, folks, so I'm drinking my wine. I guess I'll just show you the swatches again. What I just recently submitted, actually today, was the sketch, but the schematic with the measurements, and then all the calculations. So I basically designed the pattern with math and submitted that. And the next step is Shirley schedules calls and goes over that with you. So it's just like I'm mind boggled that I'm getting this is to me is like a huge opportunity. But anyway, without further ado, let me show you my swatches. And I'm not going to describe the sweater yet, other than what I've already said. And you can just use your imagination. But here's one swatch. And I'll be using not this one in my pattern, not this one. This is actually just a little smaller than this one, but I'm going to go with this one. Here's another swatch. This is like a double moss stitch. And here's the last swatch. Ignore the color change. It's just because I ran out of yarn, this color yarn, and I wanted to make a little bigger swatch, so I used another color I had. This yarn is, and I always forget, so the yarn band is, it's Turbine. It's a bulky weight yarn by Harrisville Designs. They're the same company that makes the yarns for Brooklyn Tweed. It's an amazing yarn. It's a 3 ply. It's rugged and outdoorsy, yet it has a soft nature to it. I loved the colors it came with. It has a nice drape to it, and I felt that it showed off color work well. It showed off cables well. I am totally in love with this yarn. So hopefully in a few weeks or so, I'll be able to cast on and start knitting this sweater. So that being said, let me go into my whips. Hopefully this will soon be a whip, but until it is, I felt like I'm kind of in a like whip rut, if you will. It's like I'm waiting to be able to start this design. I don't want to really get over involved in anything else right now, anything big or complicated, because once I'm ready to start knitting this, it's going to be my focus. It's going to be not monogamous, but it's going to be my main project so that I can meet the deadlines. And when I signed up for this design along, I committed in my mind and my heart that I would just stick to it, give it everything I got, and really give it my best effort to finish on time, which I'm definitely committed to do. So in the meantime, I had just finished a pair of socks, and I really only have 2 working whips, works in progress. One, I showed this last week. I just started it, and you're going to see it again, and you're going to say, did you even work on it, if you watched last week? And I'm going to say, yes, I actually worked on it a whole heck of a lot. The problem is I totally messed it up. So there's, this is the Dancette hat by Woolly Wormhead, using, let's see, what's the yarn? Signature sock by On the Round in the Country Fair colorway. It's like a rainbowy colorway, but it's kind of softer and not too bright. And I'm sorry for the glare, guys, but I'm indoors and it's night, and trying to get, there's a good picture. So this is Dancette by Woolly Wormhead. It's knit flat. And what happened was I totally messed it up, and there are a series of increases and decreases, and I messed those up, and I had to pretty much frog down to about here. So half of what you see. And I had done, if you look at the crown, you can see, where's the crown? Oh, sorry guys. You know, these little wedges are repeats. And I had done 4 of these, and then I had to rip back to the first wedge. So I pretty much almost started from scratch. But that aside, from my little mess up, I actually added these markers so that I don't have to count now. I can remember where to do my increases and decreases. Her pattern doesn't suggest markers anywhere, but I found them, now that I'm using them, very useful. Let me show you a picture of the pattern. So this is from her Painted Woolly Toppers ebook. And this pattern is just ingenious. I am so impressed by Woolly Wormhead as a designer. There's the hat. It's made with a sock yarn or a fingering weight yarn. And like I said, it's knit flat. And the construction of it just blows me away. I don't know how she thinks of this stuff, but she is an amazing designer. Here's another good picture. But again, this is from the Painted Woolly Toppers ebook, which is a book of patterns designed to use hand-painted or very colorful variegated yarns. Excellent patterns. I can't say enough about Woolly Wormhead. She, I think, is my one and only hat designer, other than Vanilla Hats, which really don't have a designer. I don't think I've knit hats by any other designer except Kate Davies' hat I knit, but that's about it, I think. I really, really, really love Woolly Wormhead hats, so I highly recommend the book. Any pattern from her that you like. It's going to be meticulously well written, easy to understand. You'll get excellent support. She's very active on the forums if you need help with anything, and just can't say enough of it. So being that I just finished a pair of socks and that this pattern is actually quite memorizable, I am going to hesitate to cast on another pair of socks. Normally I always have a pair of socks on the needles, and because I am knitting this and it's a fingering weight yarn and it's perfect size for the pocketbook. Oops, I'm the wrong size. I figured, let me finish the hat first before I start another pair of socks. This will be the first time I think I've not had a pair of socks on the needles since I've started knitting socks. But like I said, I don't want to start something new and get too involved before I start that sweater for the design along. So what I decided to do, let me show you the other whip, is the other whip is the Flight of Color shawl by Louise Zaspangam. This is from the Knit Play Color ebook. I reviewed this ebook a while ago. I was totally ecstatic about it, and actually this cowl, which is called Yarn Tamer, is from that same ebook. And this is actually my favorite cowl now. I've been wearing this every day. It's been cold enough to wear a cowl. I've been wearing this. I love it. And sometimes I get to work and I just leave it on because I think it looks so pretty around the neck. And it keeps you warm, but it's not suffocatingly warm, and it's just so beautiful. And this is a Plucky Knitter Snap Out of It color, which is the gray background, and the rainbow is Leadingman's Fiber Arts OMG Squee color, which is a pure rainbow color. And I just love it. Anyway, let me show you this shawl. I've actually knit a decent amount on it since the last time I showed you. So I've knit the center. This is the center. And then this is what she calls the left wing. I think I'm showing the wrong side. Not that there really is a wrong side, but this side looks better. Where the bands of color are a little smaller, right? And so I still have quite a ways to go on the left wing. And then I'll pick up, I have stitches on a holder, and that will be the right wing. And let me show you a picture of this. see if I can get one up on my iPad. This is going to be a Christmas gift, and I'll tell you what I'm going to do, my plan. Excuse me, I've had a cough for like a month now, and I can't seem to get rid of it. Let's see, Flight of Color, Louise Bangham. Dang, sorry guys. So here's the picture from Ravelry. Oh, sorry, let's try that again. That's nice, no glare. And you can see, I love the play on colors. Hers is like a red, white, and blue. Mine's like a pink, gray, blue, and blue. And let me just share the yarns I'm using. This pink is it's like a rosy pink. It is Flatland Alpaca. It's a local alpaca yarn farm here. And I think it's in Connecticut actually, but they came to our knitting guild one night, and I bought this from her. This, I'm so disoriented. This is Miss Babs Yowza in the Fairy Dust color. Fairy Dust is a color that I got at Stitches, my first Stitches East, many, many years ago. I love the color. It's like a lavender, gray, blue. That's a good representation. And I love the color, and I knit a springtime bandit shawl with it, and I still have tons left. So I figured I'd use it for this. Now, she does not make this color anymore. She actually recalled this and offered to replace it with a skein of any color of my choice. But I had already knit something with it, and she was still willing to replace it. But I said, you know, I'm very happy with it. But she said that they had complaints of the color fading over time. But I've not found that to be true with this. So I like it. Now this one is Spirit Trail Fiberworks. This darker blue is a color called Cyclone. Spirit Trail Fiberworks Brigantia. So these three colors. And like I said, this is going to be a Christmas present for my sister. So two projects is nice. But both of these projects are kind of potato chippy, that's the word I'm using. Brainless, kind of relaxing knitting. And I like a project that you can really chew on sometimes. You know, like something that is just like really intricate. But again, I didn't really want to start something new. So I was very tempted, and I'll get to that, to start something new, because I have a couple of projects in my queue that I am like super, super eager to knit. But what I decided to do was go into my hibernating whips and pull out a pie shawl that I started last year in the summer. Donna Dracunis, one of my favoriteest of all designers, did a mystery. Was it a mystery knit along? It was a mystery knit along. It had clues, and the pattern is Yarn Fairies in My Garden. It's a pie shawl, which is going to be hard for you to see because I'm knitting in the round and it's all bunched up, and I've got this glare, and it looks to be like very hot pink, and well, it is. And I'm starting to blend in the next color here. But I had stopped on clue 4, and I think here's where I have the Progress Keeper. So when I picked this back after I finished my sock, I've picked this back up, and I've done just, wow, you can hardly see that. Let me just get this. Oh, that's better. You know what? Let me just turn it off. That's better. I know I'm dark, but at least you can kind of see the pattern better. Or maybe you can't. All right. Try that one more time. Here's the Progress Keeper. And I think I've done maybe an inch. And if you look at the pattern, and I don't see the screen, I'm doing a Estonian shawl pattern stitch up here, and this is like clue 4. And once I picked this up and started knitting on it again, I was in heaven, and I knew I made the right choice, not casting on a new shawl and just working on this. So this will be my kind of really intricate knitting pattern. I like a challenging, beautiful, intricate knitting pattern. And this will be it until I start the sweater. Now, just to show you the yarns, you can see here's the, like, this is pure neon, bright, hot pink, right? And it's as bold as you can imagine, as you probably got with the impression. And that's actually right there is a very good representation. This is the next color. It's got some brown in it. And then after this, I will be starting with this color. And this is mostly brown with hints of pink. And then the last one is like a bark. It's like a bark, and it's a beautiful brown. So these yarns were hand designed for her design along, her mystery knit along by Yarn Fairies, who has kits still available. And I highly recommend any pattern, but this one in particular is quite beautiful. And there are other colorways if you're not into the hot pink like I am. It's one of my favorites, and I love actually browns. I love browns. But if you're not into this really bold, they have a watered down apple blossom colorway kit that you could choose, and they have other kits. So definitely go check that out. So this is going to be on the needles until I start the sweater, and then this will probably get tucked away again until the sweater's done. But in the meantime, it's just sitting on my desk here. And I have the pattern in my Knit Companion app. Great app. And that's kind of what I'm working on. So let me show you my one and only finished objects are my Silly Fruit socks, and they're over here. They're still wet. And I apologize because I can't find my sock blockers anywhere. I have a pair of Knit Picks sock blockers. And I've actually I don't know why, but I always lose these things. I keep losing them. So anyway, I have the socks on the radiator over here drying. So let me just grab them. They're still wet. Keep that in mind. But let's see. Excuse me. So here they are. Fish Lips Kiss Heel. Vestigial pattern by Beta. What's Beta's last name? From Hedgehog Fibers. I can't remember. Beta from Hedgehog Fibers. This is a free pattern. Vestigial. It's like a broken rib stitch. I wore these for today before I washed them, and they just hug me perfectly. I'm so thrilled with them. The yarn is Sugar Maple Sock Yarn by Highland Handmaids, and the Silly Fruit colorway, which was a colorway she dyed to help raise money for Wendy of the Silly Fruit podcast, which is Sassy Pants podcast, actually. She calls herself Silly Fruit. And when she had leukemia, and I just love them. I wasn't sure how I'd like the colors because I'm not really into the neon scene, which is surprising after you see the pink. But I like hot pink, but not necessarily neon blues and greens and yellows, and just maybe the hot pink part. But I love these, and they're super comfortable. And it's a free pattern, and I highly recommend it. I really love it. And so, like I said, I'm not immediately casting on put these back on the radiator later. Another pair of socks. I'll finish the hat, and then I have a couple of socks high up in my queue that I can't make up my mind which one I'm going to knit next. Or the color, or the yarn for that matter. But I think the next pair is not going to be quite so vanilla. I think the next pair will be a nice, either a Hunter Hammerson pattern or maybe a Alice Yu pattern, which is Socktopus. I have her book of patterns. She's an amazing sock designer that kind of disappeared off the grid after she had a baby, which is kind of sad because she was amazing. Or a cookie sock pattern. I don't know yet, but I was thinking something a little more fancy. Maybe with some twisted stitches or cables. I don't usually knit socks that have yarn overs or lace in them because, well, they wear out fast. So unless it's only in the leg of the sock, and then I'll do it. So what I did grapple with, and before I picked up the Yarn Fairy pie shawl, was I recently got my bonus at work, and of course, you know, you pay off bills and credit cards and stuff with that, but I did treat myself to a couple of things. I got myself a couple of knitting books, and I also bought 2 yarn kits, decadent yarn kits. And I think when I start the sweater, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put Yarn Fairy in hibernation again for a short time. No rush to finish hibernation, Yarn Fairy, but I'm going to knit one of 2 shawl kits that I got. And I'm going to ask you to help me make up my mind which one to knit. So the first thing I got, and if you are interested in this, and let me find the pattern here in Ravelry so I can show you. There is an online yarn store called fabulousyarns.com that you can get things at an amazing bargain. So I actually, when I went to, damn spell check, when I went to Vogue Knitting Live, Iris from Art Yarns, who's an amazing designer, an amazing color person, a beautiful person. I love her. But has no influence on why I buy her yarns. I buy her yarns because they are amazing. And they're expensive, but they are luxurious, and they are well made, and they are beautiful colors. But anyway, I digress. I saw the same kit she was selling at Vogue Knitting Live for over $200. If you go to the website fabulousyarns.com, you can get this same kit for $156 and free shipping. That's almost a $60 savings. So when I got the, here it is, bonus, I went and I splurged and I bought the kit. The colorway is winter weather? Winter storm? Where is it here? Winter white is the colorway. And it contains, so there's beautiful pinks, gray blues, and winter white. And you can see there's the silken sequins, and then we have merino cloud and merino, is it big merino cloud. So, and I can't even begin to describe to you how soft this is. But let me show you the wrap I want to make. So the pattern's free. Usually almost all the patterns that Iris designs are free if you buy her yarn. And here it is in winter white. Zhivago, Z as Z, Z, HIV as in Victor, AGO shawl. And it's gorgeous. And if you're a yarn whore like me and you love art yarns, which if you don't, you're crazy, get her yarns from fabulousyarns.com. And any other yarns. They sell a lot of different yarns at amazing prices. They have really deep discounts. So worth checking it out. So, should I knit the Zhivago shawl? Here's another view of it. With all this decadent, sequiny, soft lusciousness. Or should I knit the other yummy surprise I got, which was, if you are on Instagram, you might have seen that Isolde posted that she had some of her very new yarn, blend number 1, left over from the Edinburgh Yarn Festival, that she sold on her online shop. And I managed to get 3 skeins, which is enough for the shawl she designed, which I love for its simplicity, willow bank. So I bought the pattern, and I bought the yarn, and I really, really want to make this. Here it is. I'm dying to make it. I can't wait to cast it on. To me, it's nice and big. It's nice and soft. It's not as decadent soft as the art yarns, but it's soft, but with a little bit of a rugged attitude. It's gray and blue. It's like a blue toned gray and a natural white. So it is made. It's not dyed. It's made from natural wools. It's a sport weight, and I love I love it for its natural look, and so this is my other option, is to knit her shawl. Again, let me show you. Let me get another picture up. This is, like I said, Willow Bank by Isolde Teague. Let me find another nice picture. Here's a close-up of the lace section. So I'm going to ask you guys, what do you think I should knit next? So both of these are rather simple, unlike the pie shawl. That's why I'm putting the pie shawl away, because I'll be focusing my, I call it my focus knitting. So it's knitting that I really have to pay attention to. I can't watch TV while I'm doing this. Kind of thing. I have to count, I have to measure, I have to do, there's a lot of pattern stuff to pay attention to. So that's my pay attention knitting, and that's why I'll put the pie shawl away when I start the sweater. But what I'll do is I will put my sister Lisa's Christmas present away for a little while, the Flight of Color shawl, and I'll work on either this or the Zhivago shawl by Art Yarns. Put that out here. So you decide for me. Isolde Teague shawl, Art Yarn shawl. Which one should I knit next? All right, and I'll put a thread on in the Ravelry group with a poll, and you can decide for me. Whichever you guys decide, I will knit. Once I start the sweater, I'll knit that shawl with it. So, and I thank you, because otherwise I wouldn't be able to make up my mind. And by the way, now you see my stash enhancement, so I don't have to go through stash enhancement. Spinning, I'm still spinning what does she call it? Sorry. The Fuzzlings by Fondant Fiber. I'm still spinning these very slowly, very little spinning, and if I do, it's on the spindle. I haven't worked on my wheels in a while. Which I've been totally knitting focused. I have so many knitting goals I want to achieve this year, and just not enough time. I wish I could have so much. I wish I had so much more time for knitting. So last week, speaking of more time for knitting, I have another project that I have to complete by the end of the summer that wasn't on my goals list, but basically the cowl pattern that I showed you last week. Let me show you again. This is a free pattern that I'll be publishing. It's still with the tech editor. I don't even know if she started it, and I don't know what's going on there. I know she was sick for a while, but this is a new tech editor that I'm trying out, and I don't know. I'm going to reach out to her this week, and if she hasn't started it, I'm going to tell her to forget about it, and I'm going to call the person I was using before, because even if she's busy, she'll tell me, and this woman, she lets me know when she can do it, and when she says she can do it, I send her it, and she does it right away. And there's no waiting. But anyway, this is the cowl pattern. It's the Awakening Cowl is what I'm calling it. And last week, or 2 weeks ago, my two nieces, one the photographer, Patricia, and one the model, Catherine, we spent a day modeling this and taking pictures for the pattern. And as a thank you, they wouldn't let me pay them, but as a thank you, they both have two little girls, toddler age girls, and they asked if I would knit their daughters a sweater. So I'm going to knit each one of these girls. I was thinking the Tin Can Knit sweater, I think it's, what is it, the Snowflake? The one that's laced up at the top. It's top down, and then the body is solid. I think I'll knit one for each of them over the summer. So there's another, there's some more projects I have to do over the summer, but hopefully by then my sweater will be done. And the sweater I design, of course, is going to be my Rhinebeck sweater. And then maybe if I can bang out the sweaters for the two girls, I can then finish a cable sweater that I started years ago, which originally was supposed to be for Mark, but I was way off. And actually I'll finish, it'll be a nice oversized sweater for me. How long am I going here? I don't even know. Oh, 37 minutes. All right, so I did want to mention we had our Knitting Guild meeting. Oops. We had a Knitting Guild meeting last Monday, and it was a really great speaker. It was a designer named Michael Dworjan, D-W-O-R-J as in Jan, A-N. Michael Dworjan. And Michael has designed a lot of patterns, especially for magazines, that are double-sided cables. And he gave us one which we did at the meeting. And I wanted to show it to you because I was really impressed by his double cables. So there's both sides of the sample I did. I like this side best. Here's actually top to bottom. And I was thinking this would be a great stitch pattern, which he gave to us to use to knit the scarf for my son, which I bought. It's shown at Vogue Knitting Live, and to make a fingerless mitts, hat, and a scarf for my son. And that double-sided cable pattern would be perfect for a scarf. So he asked for black, so I bought a charcoal tweed to make it a little more interesting than black. So I was thinking maybe I'll use it for this. This is another thing I need to do over the summer so that my son has it in time for winter. So yeah, I have a lot that I want to do. I want to publish that cowl pattern. I want to possibly publish my sweater pattern if it comes out good. And I want to clean up my WIP stash like this. And the sweater, I had started a sweater for my daughter, which was by Stephen West. It's called I just actually put it in hibernation and Ravelry. I just changed it to hibernation status. It's the Glam Lamb sweater. So my daughter's going to school in Orlando probably for another year. I think she'll be done a year from now in April. And so I had started Glam Lamb for her late last year. She went to school, but here's the Glam Lamb pattern. This is totally my daughter. But I think I'll put this in hibernation. I'll worry about it next year. But possibly we'll finish it this year. It depends on how I do with my goals. So that being said, I think I'm going to say goodnight. Did I cover everything? Yeah, I think I covered everything I wanted to. Thanks for joining me. And I will plan on seeing you in a couple of weeks. Adios, folks. Bye-bye.